Hello, and thank you for stopping by. This is an ensuite. They're 12 by 24 polished porcelain tile. As you see, we went horizontal at the doorway, and we went stacked on the showers. And I also have a 12 by 20 niche with a shelf. If you put two vertical tile butt up against one horizontal tile, it's the equal distance of the horizontal. And as you can see, I lined up my floor with my wall. And I've got a return corner there, which is one full tile. They'll come back later on and they'll put the shoe molding on there on the trim. And of course we have a shower pan for that. All right, let's get started. So this is my 30M Ditra install. I'm gonna lay everything out, mark it with a pencil each course, and put it aside and start rocking. Normally what I do is I glue it down first and I come back the next day and then I flash it. But in this case, I have other things to do and this floor will dry in 3 days. I'll come back in 3 days. It'll be perfectly dried. As you can see, I use a piece of plywood to stand on that so I don't put any indents with my boots or anything. Remember to always get a bucket of water and a sponge and wet your floor down as you go along before you apply the all set Schluter. In this case, I went with a white because I had plenty of white. And remember to always use Schluter trowel. Usually that is about 1/8, and each Ditra trowels are about a 1/4 inch, the teeth. This is my builder's buddy, and he asked if I can help him out. So I had some, to lower the cost, I had some scrap pieces of Ditra that I'm going to use on this project. Okay, I'm almost there. All right, this is 3 days later. I was doing a sunroom at the time, so I'm in here a little bit earlier, so I asked if I can come in here. So what I'm going to do is grab my level and butt it against that pan, and I'm just going to put a mark on that wall. So just grab some tiles and lay them dry on the floor. I can hit the 2x4 behind that drywall because I like these drywallers. They always leave an inch up off the ground for me. So I just grab my 1/16 spacers like I always use. And make sure you use your spacers when you're going down that runway there. This is going to be my first, it's just a trial, a first run trial, because I want to match up the floor to the wall. So I'm just grabbing a piece of tile And I'm going to gauge the shower wall as well. Remember guys, I always try and do a full on the outside of the shower walls. And just keep gauging along. It worked out where I have a half and a half on each side of the corner there. And my full is going to go right on the outside of that. The reason why that wall is built out more is because it's a foundation wall, an exterior wall, so they want a niche there, so you have to bump that wall out a little bit. So what I'm doing is marking that, just like that. We're going to go full at the doorway, run it all along that wall, and we're going to go full on the opposite, and it's going to hit that pan, and on the opposite of that pan, it's going to, in the inside of the shower, is going to run a full as well, right where that mark is going to start, okay? And there's my gauge lines for my tiles, if you can see them. And that's going to be my return with a full tile. A full there and a full on the outside of the shower. So what I usually do is I just put my level on there and make sure that I have a straight line with my tiles. What I'm doing right here is just want to see where I'm going to start at that door. You can't just start right there. You need to make sure you start at the door because you're going to have 3/4 inch hardwood, and you want everything to be flush with that hardwood. So I'm just putting a few tiles the opposite way, and that'll give me my gauge. And then we'll line everything out properly. Remember, use your spacers. If you have clip wedges, just turn your clip wedges around and use those as a gauge. So that'll be my starting point right there. And then till I get to that point, up there, and then on the inside of the shower will be my next course for the wall. That fly has been bugging me all day, by the way, but I finally got him at the end. So all right, this is my hardwood. That's 3/4 inch. And if you use a 30 mil Ditra, which I always use, and a 1/2 inch tile edge, it adds up to 3/4 inch. So I'm going to put, you'll see that subfloor where the plywood is, that line of the plywood. I'm going to mark on one side the dimension from that to that start of that plywood, and I'm going to transfer that same mark right there. I'm just seeing how good my frame is. So it's always good to check every which way you can. Just give me a second and I'll give you the measurement. So on this case, from that subfloor to the metal, that's the measurement right there. Mark that same mark on the other side. Remember, your tile edge always got to hit that 2x4 on the outside, or the inside of the bathroom, sorry. And the reason why is when they put the casing, that'll divide and they put the door up, that'll divide the tile, and it'll separate the tile and the hardwood when the door is closed. So I put my metal there, and I just mark from one mark to the other, and it's going to be my line to put my square on there. So I'm usually use metal, but I'm going to use the hardwood. And remember that mark of that tile? Put your square right on there. Make sure you're on those lines where that metal was. As soon as you feel comfortable and you're all lined up properly, just grab your pencil and mark that square. That's going to be my starting point, by the way, for the tiles. Okay, so just put that aside. So after that, what I do is I do a dummy mark. It's a dummy chalk line. It's not my starting line. It's just I want to see if the room is squared, okay? So you can mark from that starting tile, you can mark 12 inches, 10 inches, 3 inches, whatever you want to do. In this case, I'm doing, I believe it's 7 inches. Just grab your chalk line. From that mark, from the 7 inches to that, you mark another, and you just strike that line. So I'm just going to grab my tape measure and see what that dummy line, see if the room is squared. Okay, I think that's 21 inches. I can't see that. And the other side, I believe it's the same. If you're off like a 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 inch, guys, don't be discouraged, all right? Just do the same thing from one end to the other. Just to make sure that you're not way too off on the other side. I believe it's 141.5. I think if I remember, the other side was towards the pan was 141 3/4, but that's okay. So now that we know that our room is pretty damn close to being square, I'm just going to put a pail there with water just to hold that line down, and we're going to chalk that true tile line, okay? So what I'm doing is I want to make sure before I start to just put some dry tile there so to hit that pan. Now that pan, you see how it's tight on the back, but it's veering a little bit? I'm going to want to add maybe another 1/4 inch, 3/8, or a 1/2 inch. But in this case, I think I'm going to do a 1/2 inch because at the corner of that pan on the outside, it'll hit properly that joint. So I'm just going to mark 1/2 inch right there. And the reason why is I don't want a big gap on one end of the pan, like a big grout joint. I don't like doing that. I like things being tight. So I'm just going to come to this true line over here, mark a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to strike another line. That's the line I want. And that's the line I don't want. That line I want, but that line I don't want. Okay, guys? And the dummy line, I don't want that as well. So I'm going to put my tile against the tile edge and mark it that way, because I'm going to strike another line. I had to strike it a little bit more because that wall's just a little bit buckled. So my arrows are going one way. So my first course, I'm going to the wall, the left wall. Second course to the right wall. Third, left, and opposite. And the reason why you do that, there's only so many patterns. I think there's like maybe 8 different patterns, and I don't want to hit the same tile against the other one on the next course. So I laid this out, and make sure that you're true with your level all the way through, okay? That's very important. And just make sure that you're level right to left and back to front, okay? You see that there's a second line? That's the one I'm on. I hope that wasn't hard to follow, guys. So I'm just going to give you a time lapse on this. You notice I always go one way with my half notch trowel with the cement, and on the back of my tile I go the opposite. That's the best bond you're going to get. The tiles are a little bit thinner, so I usually do it that way too, to pick up to the 3/4. So you can use a 3/8, but the problem with that is if you put your hardwood against that tile, the 3/8 makes your tiles go up higher. And I like to have my hardwood flush with the tiles. So this is pretty tough, you know, trying to explain this stuff. But if you have some free time, come on over and I'll teach you on the job site. It's an invitation. And I'm not paying for your ticket to fly here. Just letting you know. My teaching you that's my payment. So just make sure you always have your level down that row. And you can see that I flip my levels around to make sure that I'm going straight through and through. Both ways, okay? Just like that. If you have clip wedges, by all means, use your clip wedges. I just do the spacers like this because I've been doing it like this my whole life, and I just find it a lot more easier for me. So if you have any questions, please ask, and if I can get to your comments, I'll try my best to get to them. So I haven't been around. My mom was really sick, so she's a lot better now. So just my mother's more important to me than my YouTube page, and I hope you guys understand that. So YouTube's just YouTube. Your family member, they're your life. So okay, we're almost through this. Oh, by the way, my mom's doing very well. So didn't want to leave you hanging. So but I hope you guys come back. I do have a lot of videos that I have to post up, and I'll try to get my ass on them, and I hope you come back and subscribe and like and tell me what you think of the job. I mean, there's always room for improvement of trying to explain things, so I can always do that. Or if you have something you want to know, like trying to get humps out of tile, I can show you tricks of how to do that. So when you install. So anyways, guys, thank you for stopping by. All right, I'm just really happy that you stopped by. Anyways, please like, share, and subscribe, and come on back, okay? Cheers.